Hi, so today I want to share my presentation on healing through Margaret Pokiak-Fenton stories. I thought I would begin my presentation with a quote from Margaret that inspired these four books. They used to call me Fatty Legs. I went to residential school and a mean nun gave me these horrible red stockings. It was actually on a long road trip with her daughter-in-law, Christy Jordan Fenton, when she first shared the story. Christy recognized that her mother-in-law's story would help explain residential schools to children and also help them see resilience in a school survivor. Here I have the four books that Christy and Margaret co-authored together: Fatty Lakes, A Stranger at Home, When I Was 8, and Not My Girl. Margaret and Christy are a mother and daughter-in-law duo. Here's a picture of them standing with Christy's children, so Margaret's grandchildren. There are 3 generations standing here, and that shows me that this collection of books represents a multi-layered effect of healing and reconciliation, not just for the character or subjects, but for the co-authors, readers, and communities that engage with it as well. Fatty Legs is about the true story of Margaret's experience at residential school. She shares with readers how she goes from Uliman, her traditional name, to Margaret. And as you continue to read her story, you learn that Margaret is a fighter, she's strong, and she's resilient, which I feel is an important story for everyone to hear. But what I really enjoy about this collection of books is how the authors continue sharing Margaret's story. Most literature today focuses on the experiences at residential school, but A Stranger at Home shows the impacts of returning home after residential school. The whole purpose of residential schools was to kill the Indian in a child. And here's an excerpt from her second book. Uliman Pokiak. Such a name probably sounds strange to you. I can understand, because there was a time in my life when it sounded strange to me too. Would you believe that at one point I could scarcely remember my own name or even speak the same language as my mother? Again, we can see that Margaret had many more struggles to overcome. Her story did not end after residential school. The impacts of residential school were long-lasting. Today, many families are living with the effects of intergenerational trauma. These books are about healing. By reading these books to students, we are raising awareness about Canada's genocide of First Nations people in a context they can understand. These adaptations, When I Was 8, Not My Girl, are going to open up discussion at a much earlier age, increasing their level of understanding on First Nation matters. I know many people say residential school is a tough concept to teach, especially for younger grades, but I feel all 4 of these books are age appropriate. The TRC's calls to action. One of them state, make age-appropriate curriculum on residential schools, treaties, and Aboriginal peoples' historical and contemporary contributions to Canada, a mandatory education requirement for kindergarten to grade 12. And I feel that these 4 books meet that criteria. And that's my presentation. Thank you.